Karibu. Professor Hiram Derita. Asante. Dr. Henry Rotich, Director of Meteorology. Yes. Thank you. Dr. Mudhoni Tonjira from CEO Philips. Dr. Mariam Gadogo, BOC Kenya. Asante. Mr. James Masitsa and Mr. Cliff Oso from Mindre. Mr. Anthony Dinga from Laborex. And from QET Limited, Prince Munene, Alex Mbaka, Hilda Karimi, and Christine McKenna. Asanteni sana. Mrs. Beatrice Odual from Robisearch. And from the clinical area, Mr. Paul Mwove from Mathare Hospital. And from representing Nairobi Hospital, Mr. Samson Mwangi, representing the CEO of Nairobi Hospital. Asante sana. As a hospital, KUTRH, we have three main mandates. The first mandate is clinical excellence, and we have strived very much to achieve that. As a facility, we have 650 bed capacity. We take care of COVID patients, we take care of all other non-clinical cases. And Chief Guest, you can recall that barely 4 days ago, we launched our Center for Specialized Clinics, where we want to introduce other services. We had a plan for operationalizing the hospital. As you realize, our Chief Guest, we are barely 1 year in operations. And the plan was initially to fill in the first 160 beds, and then we move on to fill the full capacity of 650 beds. Of course, we all know that the COVID epidemic came and affected a lot of operations in the country, and therefore we had to shift a bit and focus on the COVID situation in the country. And as an institution, we have played a key role in managing COVID pandemic in the country. So as from last week or last 2 weeks, we had to start the other operations, move on to phase 2 of the operations, and therefore we had started our specialized clinics. And our Chief Guest, I can assure you that now we already have specialists handling many other aspects of clinical care, in addition to the oncology services which we continue to offer. So ladies and gentlemen, every single Kenyan deserves the highest attainable standard of health. Healthcare that is not only timely, but also evidence-based. KUTRH acknowledges the fact that such evidence-based, patient-centered care can only be attained through cutting-edge innovations. Today, therefore, marks a momentous occasion as we launch the Medical Innovation Accelerator Hub under the Directorate of Research, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. It is in a bid to achieve the mandate of delivering premier healthcare services that KUTRH has started the Medical Innovation and Accelerator Hub to drive innovation and entrepreneurship in the area of medical diagnostics, therapeutics, devices, equipment, and medical services. The hub will provide a transformative program that will enable spotting good ideas and innovations in the medical field, to evaluate them, admitting and providing a quality support ecosystem for the incubatees, and accelerating the whole innovation process from viable ideas to impactful products and services. The accelerator aspect of such products and services is meant to ensure that they are an income-generating avenue for the incubatees as well as the hospital. All this will be done for the transformation of the healthcare sector in Kenya and the whole region. Ladies and gentlemen, the hub shall operate on a patient-centric research model that shall support basic research and clinical trials that will lead to medical innovations. The research and innovation remain in the DNA and the architecture of KUTRH, and today marks just one milestone in the plans set in place regarding research and entrepreneurship. The work has just begun with the launch today, And we now want to move on to build the infrastructure to support research, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Our dream is to continue serving Kenyans by offering world-class, evidence-based healthcare interventions to them. Our chief guest, now kindly allow me to invite the Director of Research and Innovations, a renowned innovator in his own right, to make some brief remarks. Karibu Dr. George Njoroge.
Thank you. Thank you, our CEO. Working. Thank you, our CEO, our chief guest, ICT, CS Honorable Joe Mushero, our KUTRAH chairperson, chairperson to the board, Professor Ori Mogenda, distinguished guests, and all my KUTRAH colleagues. Now, this is a great day for all of us as we witness this launching of our medical innovation and accelerator hub, a hub that will incubate high-value innovators in Kenya and beyond. What I would like to start with is to say that we are living in a very exciting time in the history of mankind, when great advances in science and technology have been made. Just to mention a few of them, the sequencing of human genome, which was done in the 80s by Craig Venter and his colleagues. They sequenced about 30,000 genes from chromosomes, and those had about 3 billion base pairs. Information that was obtained from those genes, from those base pairs, will allow us in the medical area to come up with new medicines for diseases. And using what we call now the big data and artificial intelligence, we are now capable of getting our big dreams out there and getting big technological breakthroughs come through. So what we need, as I tell my colleagues, are these big dreams. And I can mention a few things that have happened in the world, just to show some of those possibilities that can happen. In January of 1976, a scientist by the name of Herbert Hoyer had written a paper on recombinant bacteria, a work that was received very well. And one day he received a call from a young venture capitalist called Robert Swanson, who was interested in that discovery. Swanson offered Herbert $500 to take that invention. They both made an agreement. And from that agreement, a company was created. And that company today is called Genentech. And Genentech is the one that invented the drug Herceptin. Our physician here will know it as trastuzumab. That's a drug for breast cancer. And they also came up with the drug Avastin, also for cancer. Those two drugs generated about greater than $500 billion. And it was from that invention of Dr. Herbert Hoyer. Now, just to come a little bit closer to where we are, similarly, and our CS will relate to this, a similar story was true for a student called Larry Page, and a graduate student at Stanford University in California, who in 1995 was looking for a place to do his graduate studies at Stanford and met this guy, Sergey Brin. They together talked a little bit, and they both put together a company to organize world information and make it universally accessible and useful. This culminated the formation of Google, and which caught the attention of a Silicon Valley investor, son, who wrote a check for them for $100,000. Today, Google is a $1 trillion company, not shillings, $1 trillion company. So the point I'm trying to make is that it can be done. It has been done somewhere, and it can be done here. I'm familiar with these stories because I've worked with various companies in the US, came up, invented a drug that was sold for over $1 billion. And that's why I truly believe here in Kenya, we have the brains and what it takes to come with these breakthroughs. We need just to put ourselves into this in the areas of diagnostic, in the areas of the therapeutics, in the areas of devices, so that we can come up with what we call, with the technologies, disruptive technologies, things that will take us a notch higher. And that is what we are confident that we can do it here when we can incubate those innovators who have ideas, give them some seed money, and allow them to get to the next level where they can come with medical innovations that would be commercialized. And that would be useful not only for Kenya, the region, and the rest of the world. So our guest speaker, our guest CS, Kuchero, I really am very, very happy because I know you are an innovator, and I'm happy you've come to grace this occasion, and God will bless it, and we will go very far. Thank you very much.
Our chief guest, KUTRH is encouraging innovation from practicing health providers. And this is not just for healthcare providers and clinical staff from our facility. We welcome collaborations with even other healthcare providers in all other hospitals within and without our country. So kindly allow me to invite one of our pre-launch of incubatees, Dr. Jeremy Gitao, to give us a few words. Thank you.
Chief guest, Cabinet Secretary John Mushero, Chair of the Board, Professor Oli, our CEO, Dr. Victor Job, board members, hospital management team, staff, and our guests. Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Jeremy Gitao. I'm an emergency care specialist working here in the hospital. For me, this is a great opportunity to be one of the incubatees. It's an idea that we developed while we're still working here, when we realized there was a gap, especially now in the era of COVID-19. We've seen how it's become very difficult for patients to access hospitals. And our idea came up as a medical logistics company, where our idea is to actually be the connection between the patient who is at home and the hospital that is now KUTRH. So we're able to assist the patient when they're at home, and we're able to bring them either medication, take their lab tests, and that way we're able to bring the care to the patient, and encouraging what has been the core business of the hospital, which is the patient-centered services. So as medical logistics, that's what we intend to do, and we are happy to be given the opportunity to incubate the idea And we are looking forward to even working with the Ministry of ICT, where we know they recently launched the postal addresses for all Kenyans. So it will be very easy even for us to access patients who are far away, meaning that our services will not only be located in one area, you can actually reach people at the comfort of their homes. So asante sana for the opportunity, and we are grateful to the hospital for actually setting up this, because I know there are many young people out there who would like to innovate, but they don't have a space. And I'm glad I was chosen to be among them. Asante sana.